And you can see he's trying his best to get those little teeth on my face. So I can put my little hand in here, and he's going to tear up my shirt. So, we talked about, well, I mean, I can tell you a little about these guys. Mountain lions used to be found from South America all the way up to almost the Arctic Circle. And now through hunting and our sort of urban sprawl, they're now almost extinct or going that way. They're found on the West Coast, Rocky Mountains. There's some on the East Coast. Oh yeah. And, okay, why don't you stand here? Let's see how that goes. Yeah. So don't reach out. So we're starting to recognize that these guys' populations are on the increase in the areas where we've started to protect their habitats. And national parks are to thank for that. Same things happened with grizzly bears, where we had wiped most of them out, and they started to get to a point where we're actually taking them off the protected list. These guys aren't going to come off the protected list anytime soon, because unfortunately they are still coming into conflict with people, with farmers. You know, you do hear the odd story of attacks. So with that kind of PR, you can understand they're probably not going to get taken off. Yeah, I know.
You said they're on the, I know they're on the West Coast, you said they're on the East?
Yeah, they were thought to be extinct completely on the East Coast. You've heard of the Florida panther, that's this animal. You know, the Appalachians, the Maine has got some of them. They've been basically hidden almost. They've always been here. Biologists have known that they're here, but we keep it quiet because we don't want people to keep hunting them. But these guys have become one of the best solitary, quiet hunters in the world. They're so small they can live off birds and frogs, or they can eat deer.
How big can you
This guy can get over 200 pounds. He got a little toy, which is better than my arm. Kate had mentioned bongo, which is the first animal I ever trained, and most people don't often start with lions as a thing. An African lion is what I started with, which are sort of a big version of these guys. And his name was Bongo. He was the lion in George the Jungle. He was the lion in Ghost in the Darkness. He's a feature film boy. And he and I were buddies. He was the one that taught me my passion. He was the one that showed me that I probably had some skill with working with these guys and the drive to. Something that I've always wanted to do. You know, growing up as a kid, I'd always had pictures of lions and tigers in my room, but had never grown up in a house where someone told me that that was a career choice. Luckily, I didn't listen to my parents at all, and I continue to not. Anyways, Bongo was sort of the one that taught me all the best parts about this and the reason that I keep doing it. But he also taught me some of the bad parts. I was doing a live show once for kids in front of about 6,500 people, and Bongo and I started getting a little bit of a fight, which is common with male lions. Male lions like to fight. We talked about intentions. His male lions intend to fight, intend to dominate. He was being possessive of something, and we started fighting over it. And he eventually went to get my throat, tore up my forearm, and almost killed me. And it was the last lesson to learn where, you know, as nice as these guys always are, and Bongo literally, you know, in my 12 years working with big animals, he's still the nicest cat I've ever worked with. And he was the one that went and tried to kill me and almost killed me. And it's sort of that one last lesson, like if he is willing to kill you and capable of killing you, then they all will. So we always talk about the fact that yes, we can do things like this and keep you guys safe. I am able to predict this guy's behavior, which is why I can comfortably have you guys sitting here. But that being said, that being said, they all have the capacity and the capability to hurt you. You know, just because you raise something doesn't mean it loves you the same way we do.
Dave, that video that we all saw on YouTube of the reunion of the lions, is that bullshit?
You know, I mean, it depends on what part of the story. It depends on what part of the story you hear and what part of the story you know. The idea of a male lion being brought up by somebody, then releasing in the wild, that all happened, yes, of course. The idea of a male lion remembering those people and giving them a big hug. Lions are the only gregarious big cat. They're the ones that love to be touched, love to be hugged, have a family, and they show affection. So it's not surprising at all that that lion would do that. Whether that lion was a dominant male lion out in the savannah, killing things and stuff like that, that's maybe a little bit stretching. A male lion that I trained, I left one male lion for 2 years once, and I was able to walk right in the cage and give him a hug. But he didn't go out and have females and kill things, and that does change the cat. Just like a human person, once you become the dominant boy, you never want to be subordinate. Once you're the boss, you never want to be the subordinate. And lions like that are more than that. So a lot of times, and I had a couple